Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Don't Cancel Us podcast.
Wow.
Okay, we're filming this episode virtually. I'm in Panama. They are in Georgia, so it's going to be a little bit different. So please bear with us. But still, welcome to the Don't Cancel Us podcast. This is a podcast about friendship, and the three of us have been friends for decades. But today we're talking about family, breaking generational curses, and healing family wounds. We're all originally from New York, arguably the greatest city in the world.
Oh, here you go.
You said that so well.
Did I lie?
So well. Not at all.
Oh, boy.
Not at all.
New York is also known as a melting pot because of its mix of cultures blended into the city. The three of us come from British, Jamaican, and Ghanaian descent, which has shaped who we are, for better or worse. I'm Yasmine Bedward, known as the traveling social media manager. I live my life pretty freely, hopping from country to country while I work remotely. I'm joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Chari and Rachel. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Wow.
I know.
I don't know how to come from that. First off, if you made it to episode 2, thank you. Welcome, guys. My name is Chari Caston. I am counting down the days till I graduate and get my master's in social work. My hopes is to become a clinical therapist and also to help you get over travel anxiety. So I'm also a travel agent. So you put both of those together and you get a mindful travel coach. That's me.
Perfectly said. Hello, you guys. I am Rachel. I work as an interior designer here in Atlanta and also in surrounding states all through to Louisiana. I also enjoy creating safe spaces for women to discuss taboo topics and enjoy a little bit of filmmaking. And together we make this glorious and very hand-picked group.
I get so nervous when you guys say together we make, and I'm like, is it my turn to say the don't cancel?
This is when you say don't cancel.
My hands are shaking.
Okay, so we are going to talk about generational curses this episode, which I'm really excited about. I think we've been wanting to tackle this topic since we started our podcast because none of us are really from here. I mean, here is in America, even though we are American, but we're first generation American. And I think we should all kind of like dig into our family history. Like, I'll start. My parents are British. My parents are also first generation kids. So they're British and then their parents are Jamaican. So that's where that whole thing comes from. And I think with us, I get a little bit of everything. I get like the queen is ruling and also bad man things are going on at the same time. So I'm curious about you guys. Have you encountered any resistance or pushback from family members or your community when attempting to break free from negative patterns?
Ooh, dropped it in on us very quickly.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
For sure. I'm the Ghanaian person in the group. And my parents were both born and raised there, moved to America to make a better life. And as an African, better life means education and education only. They saw this land as a place of opportunity, as it is, and decided to, have their kids here so that they can have the opportunities that they felt they didn't have growing up. So if you've ever heard an African speak, there are only a handful of things that you're expected to become. A lawyer, engineer, a doctor. I think that's it. 3 things. There might be a fourth. And so anything outside of that doesn't exist. And why are you doing it? And why did I bring you here? Because why did I bring you here? If this is what you were going to do with your life, is literally what they say. And so as I started my intro and sharing that I work as an interior designer, art creative, and love creating safe spaces and creating film, another art and creative space, babes, what did you do with your life?
Prostitute.
So for me,
did you just call her a prostitute?
I mean, at this is the same thing in their eyes. Am I lying?
Sell
What?
yourself.
Prostitute.
How they see it.
Okay.
And I have 3 other sisters. I'm the third of the 4. And I graduated college first. I did accounting. My dad did accounting. And I struggled picking my degree because I remember like not knowing what to do. Like I'm a type of person, I just need to know what to do. And then I just go forward. But like deciding on a major was a really, really big thing. And I think in the beginning it was cool because it's like, okay, business class is cool.
Yeah.
Or no, I think I even went into trying to do, be a mathematician or, actuarial science, and all these other prerequisites were like throwing me off. I was like, whoa, this is not who I am. So then I was like, okay, well, all my siblings were going into nursing. My mom is in nursing and my dad is in accounting. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try that side because I knew for sure I didn't want to do biology in that realm. So went into accounting and knew someone who kind of knew the ropes and internship and this and that and master's, da, da, da. I was like, okay, as long as the map is laid out to me, I'm going to get it. And when I did it and was done, great. I was the first one to graduate out of the 4 of us. And so there was these high expectations, like she's done, she's magna cum laude, she's got her internship lined up, she's got master's ready to go. Did the internship, hated it.
Internship during school or was it after?
Did the internship right after I graduated. So like a week or 2 after my internship was already lined up, went into it, hated it. Took a break. And I think my boyfriend at the time was like, hey, another African, so it didn't really help. He was like, you got to go back and do it again. You cannot, you just went to school for 4 years. You can't say you're not doing this. And I was like, okay, like I guess. And of course my parents were like, agreed. So went back and did it again. And I remember it was like Valentine's Day. I was crying. Not because I didn't have a man, but because I had that job. I was like, my girlfriends, we had a Galentine dinner planned and everything, and I couldn't go. And I was like, I hate this place. And not because I couldn't be with my friends, but like, I was just like, it affirmed that I was not returning to that space.
Wait, so when you said you had to do it again, you mean like try the job again or go back to school?
Again. I went back and did the internship a second time. They offered it to me again and were like, okay, like you can come back. So did the internship again. And I was like, yeah.
This ain't it.
This is not me. I don't want to be in this space of people. And so it left me, being the first one to graduate. Now I'm looking crazy to them. Like, so what you gonna do since you ain't doing this? And so from 2014, 10 years later, literally, I'm having to re-navigate, recreate, like create new career goals for myself and just make a new life for myself that I respect so that if anyone asks, this is what it is and there's no backing down on it.
Did you feel like, because your dad's an accountant, like did he help you or did you have somebody to look up to, or was that by choice that he didn't help you, or what was that like?
I won't say he didn't help me, but he went into a different sector of accounting. Accounting is really, really broad. Okay. And so him working for the state, it was very different than me trying to go public accounting, which is, I don't even want to get into it, but I was going public route. You are meant to make more money. It's harder, but then you can just get out quicker and then go private, or you can go state or government. And so that was the idea. One way or another, it was a no all the way around. And I loved learning it. I'm not going to knock it. I love learning it. I use it in my business. I'm the money person. I'm the numbers person in all spaces that I'm in. And so I appreciate it. But just as far as me going down any other route, I will say I have thought about like, maybe I should go to law school because it's been something that...
The fashion is nice.
I
You be
mean,
fired though. You coming in that courtroom, bro?
I mean, if you could see what I'm wearing today,
Ah.
babes, I'm ready to be in front of the courtroom right now.
If anyone does want to see more photos and videos and footage, make sure that y'all are following us on Instagram. We post pictures and cute little videos. So follow us across all platforms, guys.
Yes,
Right.
but I don't mean to
Rachel
take
got
the floor.
a nice leather sexy thing going on. So
I don't mean to take the floor, but for me, you know, having to redefine what my life is going to look like without the standard expectations, you know, judgment. It's been a tough road uphill. But I honestly would not I couldn't have done it any other way. There's no way I would have done anything else.
So you
Yeah.
broke the generational curse because you chose a different. You started with the career route, that was the expectation. You tried it, and then you decided that it wasn't for you, and you want to try something else. What do you feel like you broke the generational curse, or do you feel like you still feel that pressure of like, I still didn't fulfill something?
I don't even think it's a curse. I think from their circumstances and what they had available to them, they just want what's best, right? Like, I think all our parents want the best for us. How they go about it is different. But I think I just broke a norm, and I'm continuing to break norms of how they think and how they see success to look like. And so, in being able to I may not have all my plans and goals achieved, but to see the things that I have been able to create, and for them to, some things they know about and other things, and some things they don't, but the ones that they've seen, it's like, I can see how it's changed their mind and how they think and how they now approach my nieces, their grandkids and stuff like that. And soon to be great, because it's like, we live in a different world than you grew up in, and it's okay that we chose to do things differently.
You said soon to be great, and that threw me all the way off.
I'm not even going to hold you.
What?
I guess I'm speaking also in terms of my grandma too. So sorry.
Okay.
Let's just be clear.
I was like, who is connected, Rachel?
Right.
Who's talking? Cover
Literally,
that up.
I went through the list in my head. Like, okay, maybe it's something I don't know about.
Here go Yasmine. You said. Just want to remind you what you said, and I'm like, I was really hoping that would drop.
Of what you said, I do want us to kind of define generational curses, because I think there's generational curses and cultural norms. But before you respond, Chari, what I'm hearing off bat is that, like, Ghanaians want you to be like one of these 3 or 4 things. Jamaicans,
Africans.
Africans. Jamaicans just need you to have a job. That stereotype about like Jamaicans having like 7 jobs at one time is a real thing. And I think as long as you are working and earning money, like, they don't care how young you are, what it is. For the most part, it's like, you just have to have a job at all times. Like, if you have a day off, that's weird. Like,
what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Like, there was one point where it was me, my mom, my grandma, and my great grandmother all in the house together. And my mom is off the same day of the week since she's had her job, and she's worked at her company for over 20 years. And it's like, every time that day rolled around, it was like, what is she doing? Why is she not? What is going on? Like,
do something with your life.
They don't understand it. But I'm sorry.
The one day she has off.
The one day. And it's not like she's like, acting crazy. She's just resting a little bit. We don't believe in rest at all. Chari, what about you? Have you encountered any resistance or pushback from family or your community when attempting to break free from any negative patterns or cultural norms or traditions?
I feel like my situation is very unique because my father is Chinese and Jamaican, and then my mom is Jamaican, but my father passed away when I was 2 years old. And so I didn't get a chance to really immerse myself in being like learning about the Chinese heritage. But from what I do know from like my sisters and my grandmother is that the Chinese folks in Jamaica are almost the stereotypes is very similar. Foreigners in general, what I'm hearing, have like this the similarity of like work, money, family, what you doing with your life. Like that work, family is like the top things. So I lean more into my Jamaican side, one, because my mother raised me. But two, my father is Chinese and Jamaican, so he was raised in Jamaica. So that's where I'm speaking from. So if somebody gets confused and they see my last name, or I may look a little different, this
It's
is
the
where I'm speaking
bangs.
from. It's the banging. For
If Yasmine
real.
don't come at you, it ain't Yasmine.
You should see
It's
my
the
haircut
bangs.
right now. If you're listening, I am embracing the Chinese side of it. But is the question like, what how do I find generational curses?
Or
Like, what do
have you
I,
broken any? Have you broken any
um,
norms? Like, I guess, what did she say? Just like
Culture norms
cultural
or
cultural
norms.
norms? Okay, so I don't know. Yes, 100%. My mom has done a lot of the break-in for us by one deciding to move here. Both my parents deciding to move here has definitely leveraged my family and the kids after my mom. But for me personally and my nuclear family with my husband, go watch
Baby,
season. Go watch
she
season
gonna give us
one.
a biology lesson every time. Nuclear family. I said, where did this come from?
husband.
It's
I gotta
actually
go
from
find my nuclears. Damn.
if you watch episode 1 too, we talk about my husband too, but like me having a husband and like being married and then having a kid after marriage
Ooh,
is a huge deal
wow.
with my family. I have a lot of sisters. I have 11 sisters, and no shade to them. I love them so much, and I love the active fathers.
It's
Um
the Gen X part for
I'm trying to seem
me.
young. I'm trying to seem young. But I say that because we know and love your sisters too. Both of
I
your
love
sisters.
them. I love all the active fathers that are a part of my nieces and nephews' lives. But a good chunk, they're not married, nor do they live in the same household. And I'm not saying that's the only right way, but it is a way to live. And I've never seen that. And me deciding to consciously do that with my husband has, I feel like, made my life significantly easier than what I see them when they are raising their kids. So that's
Mm,
really huge. And I don't want to take all the credit, because I do know if my father was alive, he will be in the same household as me and my mom. So it's not because of like just me, but his story and my mom and my dad, their story encouraged me to like live it
I want
on.
that.
I want that. Exactly.
Even though
Wow.
you didn't like get to really see that.
Exactly. Even though I didn't get to
Yeah.
see it, I think her, like I said, she did a lot of breaking for me, but I think I did a lot of tying and like make it a little bit more fluid, and for my nieces and nephews to see my husband show up at their dance
Mm-hmm.
recitals, even though their father isn't, or like him playing that uncle role and seeing our marriage. I think the kids in our family can see that, and I hope that they're learning from it and
Yeah.
aspire
Oh,
some sort of aspect of it.
that's really
I,
sweet.
I have to say that I do appreciate your husband. We'll keep him nameless, but his intentionality around these things, and I know he doesn't do it to get any kind of award by any means, but he is really changing a lot of lives in more ways than not.
Yeah.
By his small tokens that
Mm-hmm.
are, they really have a huge effect and
Yeah.
everlasting effect. Like they just keep going. It's almost like the um okay, I can't remember.
Okay.
I think he's a good
I
person.
tried.
He's a
He's a
good
great person.
person, and
He's
Yes.
a good man.
he's a good man, Savannah. And as a result, he's a good father, he's a good friend, he's a good
Right.
husband.
Right.
And I think whenever I go on these tangents about like men are, and it's like hashtag not all men, Dane is one of the first men that come to mind. It's like, okay, I do
That's
know a
sweet.
few good men, and
Mm-hmm.
Dane is like one of three. Um,
Oh my God. We're
um,
leaving that right there.
yeah.
um,
Yasmin, please share with us what what it's been like for you.
Yeah, so hearing you guys speak made one thing very clear to me is not only am I the first, I'm also the oldest. So I'm the first daughter, first granddaughter, first great granddaughter, and I'm the oldest of all my siblings.
Which is
And
insane. I feel bad for them. I'm kidding.
no, there's a thing about being the oldest. Like there's a level of struggle. Like you got the younger people are awarded so many other privileges because someone had to do it first. Like I had to
Right.
be I had to mess up
You
first.
had
I
to
had
mess.
to
I
be
literally was just thinking that you had to mess up first.
it's like just seeing how my younger siblings, like the activities that they were in, I was like, y'all, what Lion King auditions? What are you talking about? Like those things were not even options for me. So I think there's a different type of pressure as well that comes with like being the oldest because it's like all eyes are on. I was the only one that people were looking at for a really long time and kind of still are. I set the
Right,
bar,
right. Our
but I
group is
set the
kind of
bar
like
pretty low.
we're I'm the youngest. Rachel's kind of like
The middle.
middle-ish, and you're the oldest. And the
Yes.
dynamic that we're speaking from, because I love the young privilege. I know I'm getting some privilege over here.
You
But being a
are.
middle child is also a different perspective. But I love
Mm-hmm.
to continue to hear what it feels like to be the oldest.
I think also because I've been loved all my life, I don't want to, bring shame to the family. They've loved and supported me. It allowed me to be a creative person. Like I was able to have a creative job and work in creative spaces and do creative things. And I'm not the only artist in my family. I'm not the only entrepreneur in my family. My grandmother had a chain of beauty salons and all types of things. And when I go back to Jamaica and we talk, like being able to talk about business from an entrepreneur standpoint is really exciting and inspiring as well. So I don't think that there was any like sort of negativity when it came to like me picking a career or anything like that. Same with my siblings. Like if I didn't get no pressure, they have no pressure. Like especially with influencing being like an actual job now, like they are able to be in whatever space that they want to be, which is really cool and exciting. But the other day, my mother had the nerve to call me on my phone and say to
Hello.
me, she
Cool.
wants me to go back to college. And I
What?
was like, like, first of all, where did that even come from? And she's like, I just feel like you'll have better opportunities if you had a degree. I said, everybody I know with a degree is struggling just like me. So what is he talking about? And then it was the whole thing of, then I was like, I don't even have a permanent address. Like, I'm going to have to pay out of state fees and all these things. And she's like, well, there's some countries that allow you to go to school for free. I was like, what are you
Germany.
talking about? Without me
Germany.
living there, like there's a process for these things. And I think with other generations, they hear something or they read something and they're like, yep, my daughter must do this thing. And I'm like, what you're saying doesn't even make sense at all, but bless her little heart. But that just put a fire under me
You said
to
bless her little heart.
to work harder because I'm like, I don't want this to ever be a conversation for me. She does it like
This can't be her only solution for me. I feel it.
exactly.
I
So
feel it.
I'm just like on a whole different grind now. Like my brain is like, this can't, I don't want to. I have no interest in that.
I feel it. Yeah, I've gotten I'll pay for you to go back to school just because I think
Shing.
out of all the kids, like they just have their eye, like they see something different from me. And
That's
because they
good.
see how I am with education, like just I guess I'm not a parent, Shari, but
Oh.
as a, I think parents,
Nuclear.
I've heard them say things like they know how each child is and they know the capacity of each child. And so I think they struggle with the idea that like I choose the certain spaces that I'm in because they're like, oh, we see so much more. You can literally be you. I won't say this for this child or this child, but you could
But
do this. And I'm
I
like, I love and hate it because I'm like, it pushes me to want to get this level of success that they're seeing in their eyes, but at the same time, it's like, at what expense?
And
Like
it's
if I
coming
hate it,
from and they don't care that they don't care that I'm going to be miserable or hate it or like want
They're
to
not even
slit my
thinking
wrist.
about it, honestly.
It doesn't matter. Like you'll have a degree and you'll be this person in their brain, which to
Yeah.
me, my happiness is way more important than that. But that's a generational thing that they don't understand happiness, joy, rest,
I
peace,
think
ease.
I do think that like, and I'm guilty of this too. Like my mom don't know half the things I do, and bless her little heart, bless her little heart, because like she said, not my mom's never pressured me to go back to school or do any of those things, but I do know that she has no idea, like the
The
bigness
different
of
hats.
what's happening here as being like an influencer, a travel agent. And I'm gonna speak to you, Rachel. I feel like maybe your mom or your parents don't even see your success of what you do on a day to day, and maybe you've said it to them, but they don't want to hear it, or they can't
They
fathom
can't
it. Just
hear it.
like
It's like
It's
so
not an
big.
option.
It's
She's
no,
just
not
it's
like
no,
a
it's no
Yasmine's
this
mom.
way.
It's
or
just
this.
like,
Yeah.
do you know that I just like install the whole kitchen, or like I just put floors down, or I just got a $10,000 check. Like, do you know that these are successful things, and it doesn't look like 1987. It doesn't look like that. It's
And I'm not screaming
2024.
it at the top of my lungs in any way, but like there are things happening, and for me, I just seen it as like people are gonna people, and life is gonna
Mm-hmm.
life, and
Mm-hmm.
so you just like I think the biggest thing is like I just try not to take things personal, because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm not living for you, like so all these other things that get in the way, I'm just like one day you'll see it, and if you don't, you don't. Like it's not the end of the world.
It's
I will
above
look
me.
and I will go, and there will
It's
be more people after me. So I'm like, girl, it's not that deep. No, don't take anything serious. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
I feel
Whatever.
you. I feel you. But I am good. For me, I'm going to try to be better and take more responsibility, and including specifically my mom and my success. And trying to paint the pictures more. I know she won't ask more questions. I 100% know she won't, because she doesn't know what questions to ask. But
Like,
I have
okay,
to.
sorry,
Yeah.
okay,
Where
Sure.
do I need to go?
right.
7:00. What are you doing again?
Well, I will give you a heads up that my mom is very involved. She is also, very much on social media. You know what I'm saying? She
She
is
is
fully
actually.
present and fully aware. She also works in tech, so she has a fierce understanding of how technology works and how social media works. And so, really ease into that. I would just give
Yeah.
you that heads up. Ease into it. The more
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Well, speaking of ease, let's end this episode with don't cancel me, but I feel like I have some sort of guilt around X when it comes up with about my family. So what is some sort of guilt that you think you carry? Maybe that's like survivor's guilt or shame, or do
Ooh.
you have any of that as far as you
Not
being
you pinning
you?
us down on what we should be cancelable on.
Okay, because I have something planned, but it's
I
cool.
feel a little. Me too. Me too. Me
Save
too.
it for next.
Cool.
A little
You know what? They're
squeeze.
gonna tune into next episode. That's all that is.
And we appreciate you all for listening. I don't have any guilt, so I guess don't cancel me because I don't carry that. I don't feel any of that. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know.
I would say that maybe sometimes because of how I internalize things, sometimes I may be upset or have an issue with a family member, and because I don't care for confrontation, because I'd be like, it really doesn't matter, but it does. I will keep a distance just for my sanity, and I don't know if that's cancelable, but that's what I'll just choose that, because nothing's ever that serious. But at the
Yeah,
same time, I see you, and this line is right here.
I
See
will
this
say
line?
that's one of the perks of being the oldest. Don't nobody come for me. What are you talking about? I'm one of the parents.
Know your place.
Hello, I'm an elder.
I'm an elder.
Sorry, what about you?
So when I thought about this question, it mainly was like the whole survivor's guilt thing for me personally. Like, because I am the youngest, I have this, and you're right, Yasmin, I don't like to use the word guilt, but there is some sort of feeling towards like the opportunities that I'm granted, because I know a few of my sisters did not have the privilege or the space or even the money
Aw.
or the capacity
Oh,
to travel the world. And like that's one of my goals. Like I really want to take my mom and my sisters and do the best that I can to create whatever that freedom looks like. And if it's me creating a trip for them, I would love to do that. Like I want them to feel like an ounce of my freedom or an ounce of my happiness. Like
that's so
and I
sweet.
appreciate like their heart. Like, you know, the oldest, y'all had to lay down the grounds, you had to get in trouble first, your mama had to yell at you, causing a lot of trauma potentially in your head because your mom is doing her best. But I didn't get a lot of anger from my mom. I got a lot of ease and freedom. So one of my guilts is just like, okay, I appreciate my mom for who she is. I know you guys had to deal with her when she was young and learning. So what can I do to help y'all out with
That's
my
so
privilege?
sweet.
That's a great place
That's really nice
to be and to like know your place and then be like, all right, how do I, one, let them feel that I'm not a spoiled brat, you know? Like
and they contribute to the spoiledness though. They contribute to it. That's
crazy.
Right.
That's
Listen,
crazy.
me and my mom got into a conversation because I told her I didn't want to buy her a house. Like, you know how people have this thing, like, I want to, when I get rich, I'm going to buy my mom a house. I was like, buy my mom a what? Like, I don't think about, maybe it's the Leo.
She like, so you won't buy me a house? Like, are you serious right now? Are we really doing this?
Maybe it's the Leo in me. I don't think about other people that much.
Okay, so, we got to end the episode here.
Oh my God, I had something to say about that because my dad literally recently was like, hey, we're like trying to get across the whole like wills and things. And it was like, so we're like, so what would you want? Like if you passed away and you were in Ghana, like, and you know, what would you want to come back here? And he was like, well, if I'm in Ghana, leave me in Ghana. And if I'm here, leave me here. And my sister was like, I took it. I was like, okay, cool. My sister's like, well, what would you prefer though? And I think he really preferred to be here, but he didn't want to put that financial burden on us, right? So he's like, I'm not going to put that on y'all, but if y'all decide to bring me, and me, I'm like, if you would rather be here, why don't you just put money away right now to be here? Why would you even like leave that on us? Like, cause you now telling us the truth. So now that's a burden on us. And it was like he was looking at me like, and I'm like, yes, nigga, step up. Come on.
That is such a healthy conversation. I love that conversation. Yeah. I love that y'all had that one too. That's a big conversation.
It was crazy. But I'm like, so why don't you just put your money aside? Why don't you just go pick your plot yourself? Why can't we just do this right now?
Set it up. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
You know, and he was like, bro, I said, I'm fine anywhere. But your sister, I was like, okay. All right, sis, you paying for that. That thing that's so funny with the whole house thing. And I was just like, obviously, if the time came and we had to bring him here, it would happen. But like, I did have my ways about it because, you know, I'm the type of person where I'm like, I don't want it to be nobody's problem at all times. I'm like, I'm covering my ass in all places. So
you have a will?
I do.
Okay, that's good. That's exciting to know.
Well, I know parts of it. Like I have parts of it.
Well, here we are right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set it up for success, Rachel.
But please, I have money, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing is not leaving anybody with any issue, and that is for sure what I won't do. The check won't be there.
I will say, for those who don't know, I have been studying to become a death doula, and money is not often the issue. It's about fighting over, I know she would want this, and I'm her mother, and I want this, and I'm her husband, and she wants this. So that's what the point of a will is. It's not really about the money. It's about your wishes being clear to all your loved ones.
that part has been cleared out and spoken.
Okay, good. Amazing. All right, well, thank you guys for listening. We hope we didn't kill you with boredom, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Pun on kill right now, Jesus.
Right. She's so good at this. We'll see you guys episode 3
or 4
yeah. Just another episode.
Or 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening on YouTube and Spotify and Patreon and all the goodies at Don't Cancel Us Cast.